Hi, I'm Johnny from Emerald Ant. I'm an actor and a teacher, and I'm bringing you activity number 9 in the Ancient Inventions pack, water power. I'm going to be taking a look at water wheels and doing some drama exercises with a little bit of help from our friend Johnny anyway. Say hello, Johnny. Hey! Hi. Water wheels were invented a long time ago and have been used all over the world for around 2,000 years. There are lots of wonderful examples from China to India and Africa to Europe. They were used by the ancient Greeks and the Romans, and they were an important part of the Industrial Revolution in the United Kingdom. I bet there's one near you. This water wheel was built over 100 years ago at a brewery which makes beer. The original wheel was made in 1794 and was used for hoisting heavy sacks of beer ingredients to the top floor using a pulley system, and for milling barley and wheat. The process of grinding grain into flour is called milling, and that's why the machine that grinds the corn is called a mill. In fact, the whole building is called a mill, and the person who works at the mill is called a miller because they mill. If you go to see a miller at work, you might see them doing all sorts of different jobs. A water wheel uses the power of flowing water to turn. The water either pushes the wheel's paddles around or fills up buckets, which then fall downwards to turn the wheel. That rotation is then used to turn something inside. It's similar to a windmill, which you might have seen in Emerald Ant's activity number 8. Water wheels can be used to do all sorts of useful things, including lifting grain and other materials to the top of a building, turning huge stones for milling grain, or running machinery for hammering and crushing things like rocks, grains, metal, or anything you want to flatten or bash to pieces, really. They were used a lot in the manufacturing process of cloth, and they can be used to make electricity. Another word for water power is hydropower. The modern equivalent to a water wheel is called a turbine, and these are often used to create electricity in big hydroelectric dams. Water or hydropower is a renewable energy because it doesn't burn up fossil fuels. This is very important in managing our carbon emissions and dealing with climate change. It's also never going to run out. More information about making electricity from water wheels can be found from the British Hydropower Association via Wikipedia. So, how does it work? Have you noticed how heavy water is? Think of the difference between an empty bucket and a bucket of water.
Oh. Well,
Oops.
Hey.
Phew. Lucky that didn't land on anything important. Wait. Hang on. Careful. No! Oh, phew. Have you noticed how powerful water is? You can feel how powerful it is anytime you get in a shower or run something under a tap. You've probably noticed that when water is poured from a height, it feels heavier. You may have gone beneath a waterfall or felt the suction at the bottom of the bath when the plugs pulled out. You may have tried those big waterfalls at a splash park. A long time ago, people figured out that you get more power if the water drops further. And if you're really clever, you'll know that water under pressure is very powerful.
Whoa.
If you run your hand under a tap, the power of the water is stronger lower down than higher up. That's because the head, or the distance between the top of the water and where you are feeling it, is bigger. Now, having a big head is important when it comes to water power.
Hi.
As you know, rivers run downhill. The more water there is, and the further it has to fall, the stronger the power of the water. The flow of the water in a river changes according to how much it's rained, but some bright spark thought of controlling the flow of water through clever design. The first water wheels were probably what are called undershot wheels, making use of the movement of a river using flat paddles to push the wheel around with the flow of the river. To get more power, people then used breast-shot wheels, where the water comes in halfway up, and then overshot wheels, which use water from above and are the most efficient. But unless you have a waterfall, you have to use engineering to take the level of the river up to the top of the water wheel. The channel carrying the current of water that drives a mill wheel is called a mill race. The difference in height between the top of the water and the bottom where it comes out is called the head. So with a good head of water, you have a good amount of power. All this running water can sometimes lead to an urge to go to the bathroom. This is a really good example of how engineers have diverted the course of the water from down there to up here to create a mill race, a head race which takes the water off down there to the water wheel which grinds the corn in Town Mill, Lyme Regis. The water which runs to a water wheel is called a head race. This head race in Lyme Regis is also called the leat. The ancient invention of using water power has been developed by clever people who've learned to make water wheels and water turbines more efficient, and also by controlling the flow of water. This can be done using sluice gates which open and close to adjust the flow, just like a tap. What do you think of that, Puss? The miller starts the water wheel turning by opening up a sluice gate, allowing the water to flow through to the right place. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary distinguished guests, it's the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time to get your bodies moving and do some drama. Exercise 1. Water warm-up. In this exercise you will use mime. If you like, you can practice with real objects and real water first. Imagine you're holding a jug or something which carries water and filling it up and pouring it out. Can you feel it getting heavier and lighter again? Now imagine you have two. Try pouring water from one hand to the other. If you like, you can try jugs of different sizes, or cups or bottles or buckets. Play with the sensation of pouring. You can do what you like. Use your imagination to pour with your whole body. What if you were the jug? Or maybe you're the water. Relax and keep breathing. Do what feels good. Exercise 2. Move like a river. Can you move like a river? First, you can just use your hand or your head to move like a stream of water flowing down a hill. Depending on how much space you have, you might be able to flow around the room. Either way, let your whole body flow with the music. Sometimes you can go slowly, sometimes a bit faster. You can imagine you are a big, slow river or a tiny, sparkling stream. You can dance over rocks and around tree roots, and you can imagine fish swimming inside you and leaves floating on your surface. Relax and keep breathing. Do what feels good. If you get dizzy, you can sit down. Next, imagine you are damned. Not as in condemned to be punished for a very long time, but dammed, like a river which has been stopped by a dam. You can no longer flow in the same way because your flow has been blocked. The water builds up and up until it forms a lake. Feel the pressure build up and up as well. And then, when the time is right, someone opens up a sluice gate in the wall and the water comes rushing out. Relax and keep breathing. And this is Sturminster Newton Mill in North Dorset. There's been a water mill here for over 1,000 years and it's still milling flour today. You can find out more about Sturminster Newton Mill by going along to their website and checking out their videos on YouTube. Sturminster Newton Mill is full of history. These days it runs off an underwater turbine. When it's open to the public, you can see lots of fantastic machinery and ancient inventions at work, and learn about how people have used water power in different ways for hundreds of years. You can also buy delicious fresh flour and go for beautiful walks. Visiting is like stepping back through time. Exercise 3. Human water-powered machines. Can you imagine you're a water-powered machine? If part of you is turned by the water, what does it make the rest of you do? Experiment and try things out. Take turns to be the primary mechanism and the secondary mechanism, or do both at once. The primary mechanism would be the water wheel or the turbine, and the secondary mechanism would be something like the huge millstones which get turned to grind the corn, or the hammers which smash up rocks. Can you find anything like that to play with? You can do this in pairs or use your imagination. Relax and keep breathing. Do what feels good. Thanks for watching this short film about water wheels. I hope you've enjoyed trying out the drama exercises, and I hope you'll go to our website and check out the other activities in the pack. Maybe you can send us a message and let us know how you got on. Why don't you go and find out where your nearest water wheel is close to home and see if you can go and visit it. Well, I hope to see you soon. All the best. Goodbye.
I'm making it go round.